Welcome to the Winter Whackaround, presented by the Valley Forge Disc Golf Association. I'm Chris DeMarco, joined by Dan Schifrin here at Allaire State Park Disc Golf Course, built by Frank Gualtieri, Lou Garcia, and of course, the Central Jersey Disc Golf Club. Dan?
Well, Chris, the stakes are high today on this cool and windy day. Today marks our very first Valley Forge Major of the year, where our players are going to be competing for a spot in the VFDGA Major Championship this November.
This 4-year tradition of throwing seasonal events has been going on for quite a while, but this is our first time we have this major finale in November, so the stakes are a little bit higher today. Let's check out hole 1. Hole 1 is a 254-foot par 3 here at Allaire State Park. Very, very crowded, covered green. You can't even really see it off of the tee. That's going to be a common theme here at Allaire. A lot of these greens are very crowded, Dan. Not too much elevation here, but still very difficult to get clean putts. So putting is going to be a big part of the game today. And we got Travis Amico leading off the tee here. Bit of a rough turnover on the sidearm, but I'm very excited to see Travis play. Austin Barron. Now, we always got to get a local at these VFDGA major events. Austin Barron is our local. He's very close to the course, and he's a great player, so I'm excited to see what he can do here.
Austin gets a little bit tied up late in the fairway there. He should have a circle 2 look for his birdie.
Yeah, it's so hard to get like a 30-footer on this hole. We got Mike Scardigno, one of the top AM players here in New Jersey, and I got to say, Scardigno is probably the most hungry guy at this event right now. We got a lot of competitive golfers, but Scardigno's hungry. And VFDGA one-time major champion Kevin O'Brien rounding out the card. He just took down his first major in 2021. Bit of a rough kick off to the side. He was a bit high, so it did drift a little far left. Amico in the rough here.
It'll be interesting to watch Mike play today. We don't get very many lefties, and it'll be interesting to see how he attacks the course with his angle control.
Amico skies one. We got Brian Roeder working catch cam today. This is his first time on catch, and he's never been to this course. Very challenging task for him today. Let's see how he handles it. And Austin, Dan, he looked like he was kind of 40, but now he's super deep. This green is just so tough.
Yeah, wow. I absolutely misjudged that. Sounds like there's some good putting going on in the background
yeah,
there.
Somewhere. One thing I gotta say, shouts out to Frank and Lou and all the Central Jersey Disc Golf Club guys. Look at that stack of logs right there. Little kind of that little artistry touch to the course really enhances your experience out there.
Little accoutrements like that really bring a course together.
I love that.
Oh yeah, got it.
Oh yeah, we did have some sound troubles for the first 2 holes as well. That'll be ironed out shortly. Travis Amico, little tester here, getting things started. He hits it.
Good cleanup for the par there.
Yeah, really happy to see him get started on the putting green well. It's definitely the most challenging part of playing on film, having that clean, crisp release in the green. So tough.
Yeah, absolutely. And the first hole in general can be a disaster if you can let it happen that way.
We've seen it before. You know who you are. There are several of you. You'll get your chance for redemption. Don't worry.
And we will see it again, no doubt.
Yes, we will see it again. I'll be playing in Valley Forge Disc Golf League. I'll be missing many putts. Kevin cleaning up with a par. Very conservative player, Kevin is, but he's a hunter. He's the kind of guy where if he can get on lead card, he's dangerous. Hole 2, par 3, 311 feet. Ridiculously narrow left to right hallway here. And just when you think you've made it out clear, look at how covered this green is. Another hole where it's almost impossible to get that 15-20 footer. You're gonna need to hit a deep putt here if you want the 2.
Yeah, it looks like our righty players are going to want to throw something, a little more understable, have it drag over left to right. Mike will have the luxury of being a lefty and probably could just throw a little flip up hyzer and just let it soar all the way to the green.
Yeah, the issue with the sidearm here for right-handed players is that you're most likely going to fade out too far to the right. You'd have to throw a really controlled hyzer flip up that kind of rides in flat if you want to get their sidearm. So
absolutely, and it looks like the ground there is pretty hard packed, so even then forehand we'll probably see quite a bit of ground play to the right.
Yeah, Austin, we see him going back in. I expect him to kind of lead the trend a bit in terms of the optimal line. He did put that one a bit straight. And Scardigno lefty backhand. Now he's going
I'm
righty,
sorry, yeah,
righty tomahawk. Did you know he had that?
I had no idea.
Yeah, he's an absolute scoundrel out there, as you would say.
That's a really interesting play. I figured the lefty backhand would be pretty routine for him, but, you know, to each their own. Tomahawk's cool.
If there's one thing that's certain about Scardigno, it's that we can expect the unexpected. He's throwing lefty backhand, righty forehand.
So interesting.
Really weird player. Shout out Dan McGuire. I believe he does something similar to that. He's one of the Greystone locals.
Well, you know, it's always good to have your left to right moving shot covered.
Yes. Austin Barron, very pinched off here.
Beautiful approach shot. Right into the bullseye there. That is awesome.
Expertly done. Little bit of pricker, leaves on his back end. Really tight gap. The wind just picked up. Expertly done. And he knows it.
I love that.
And he knows it. Kevin, sort of a similar situation here. Also pinched off. He's got to get this one out to the right. Left side fairway is very rough the whole way down.
A disc golfer's worst nightmare, having to throw a backhand with a tree to your right. Ooh, and
yeah.
He recoils that hand just in time.
You know, if there's a guy to do it, it's Kevin. He's got that, it's kind of like Scott's forehand. He's got that weird, almost quick release, I want to say.
Right.
That low, quick release.
Yeah.
Players heading down the fairway here. And we do have a number of other cards out there competing. We'll be getting some check-ins throughout the day. Of course, we will be rearranging the cards after the front nine. That's a VFDGA major tradition. Bit of a different tempo to your round when you're only playing a one-round tournament and you have to take that break after 9, so we'll see who makes the cut.
Travis pitches up for a look at his 3. Mike does the same. Certainly a tester.
Yeah, interesting to see him go with that long jump putt rather than the little toss-up approach. You see a lot of guys doing that these days. I don't hate it. Kevin cleaning up his par. Scardigno gets in there as well.
Very nice par cleanups from our card here. And Austin will be tapping in for his 3 as well after that very, very well done approach.
Really happy to see Amico getting his first chance to play on coverage. I mean, we've seen him in the Valley Forge Disc Golf League playing for the Arctic Tundra on film, but this is his first time playing in this format, and I'm happy to see it. Hole 3, par 4, 424 feet. Now, Dan, we were checking out this hole before the round. You mentioned how short it was for a par 4, but now you see just how heavily crowded it is the whole way. Drone is struggling to get to this green, though it does open up, so if you can get towards the top of that hill, your approach shot is going to be relatively simple, but that's a challenge.
Yeah. Looks like you want to get something moving right to left about 250 feet up through the woods here. Nice flipping up hyzer like that will do the trick.
And what you couldn't see on the footage, the left and right side greens on this particular hole are very rough. It's kind of this almost this bramble stuff you're seeing on the left side of the screen here. So you do want to try and really crank one here. You've got a nice open gap off the tee, but if you get too much height, hit the tree on the wrong side, you're going nowhere good.
Austin follows Travis's vapor trails there. That was a pretty sweet shot.
Austin's got a nice backhand forehand combo to his game. I'm excited to see what he's doing on his upshots these days. Scardigno
opting for the lefty turnover. Doesn't quite get it flipped over. He'll have a scramble from there.
It's amazing that he's able to compete at the level that he does without a true right to left shot. He's got that lefty backhand, righty forehand, so both want to go right naturally.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how he manipulates those shots to work for his game.
He was literally campaigning to play the most wooded course possible, so we know that this course suits his game well.
Right.
He's hungry, excited to see him. He's been playing really well the last year.
I've definitely seen him a bunch of Greystone. I know he likes to shape the disc through the woods quite a bit.
Turn it over.
Kevin going forehand. That's something he's recently added to his game. It's been coming along really nicely for him.
Yeah, we saw him executing it really well at his major win a few months back.
Very true.
Turns that one over, but he gets over the ridge at a look for a putt.
Scardigno trying to go for a cheeky little tomahawk there.
Didn't quite get over on enough to get on the edge there.
And yeah, this is, I would say, the ideal spot where Austin Barron is here. It's hard to imagine doing too much better than this. Gives himself just a real nice, open, simple sidearm up shot, and wow.
Yeah, I mean, when you're that close, even if you have a couple trees in your way, just a little chip up, as Travis and Austin are showing us right here.
Textbook for Amico. I wish I knew what that yellow disc was. He goes to that very often.
I see him throw it all the time. I want to say it's like an AVR X3, but really beat in. But
yeah. He does. That was my first thought was like an AVR 3. Scardigno, utilizing that righty sidearm. Beautiful. All the way through the thicket there. Very nice.
That's going to be really useful today for scrambling for sure.
Uses that skip well.
Oh, and he splits the trees there. A little field goal action.
Hello. We love to see that. Bounces off that tree, rolls backwards a bit. He's got a 25-foot tester. Expertly done by Scardines. Kevin, probably just a simple little layup. He's a very, very conservative player.
Yeah.
And like you said before, he just won his last major, so.
And he won it playing, you know, his style of golf. He doesn't like to push the envelope too much, just likes to hit fairways and hit putts. If he feels like he doesn't have that confidence to go for it, he's smart and lays up.
Yep, very true. And this course has a lot of teeth, a lot of danger looming on the latter halves of each hole, so I think that's a really smart way to play. Should benefit him well. Hole 4, par 3, 328 feet. Little downhill shot, pretty simple off of the tee, but a pretty crowded green here. Just trying to get something straight and get yourself a nice look at the basket. Shout out Travis Amico, representing Valley Forge. Had a lot of requests for merchandise lately. We are working on it. Gonna be coming out with some gear soon. Now this is a textbook shot for Amico. A little bit of elevation, relatively straight. Let's see what he does.
Looks like he got that turned over a little bit. Drifts off to the right side.
I was surprised to see him going high-speed driver there. I would have thought he would have gone putter, but it is kind of windy today. As that one flies by the rotor. It seems like he's got like an inkling. Did I hear something over there? Hey, he's still keeping it smooth. You love to see it.
Yeah, Austin starting that off a little too far to the right with a lot of hyzer and just kind of flips it up to the right side, joining Travis there.
You know, Dan, I'm remembering we did a CTP on this hole later on in the day, and there was a strong headwind, so that may be why we're seeing everybody kind of struggle to keep the disc on a nice line here.
And that headwind would help out a lefty in that case.
Yeah, but he faded out, a bit wide right. Kevin appears to be going with one of his strikes here. Gets through the gap well, fades it out, probably 45 feet. We got Amico in some big trouble over here in the bramble.
Reaching for that yellow disc again. Just gives it a little flick of the wrist. Oh my goodness. Travis, incredible shot. That was all wrist, and he had to throw that over his shoulder, so literally no upper body. That was all wrist.
Incredible finesse. He could barely even get his foot in there, and he kind of just popped it up and let it fall in. Beautiful effort. Beautiful effort.
Yeah, that's the angle I want to see again.
You love to see
so good.
You love to see the other guys in the tournament on another card. Just hearing that shot, I heard Scott yelling.
Austin puts it up, a little right side.
That's a tough act to follow.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of putt you're going to see a lot today. I mean, granted, in that specific instance, Kevin did hit that little stick there, but it's very hard to be confident from 40, 50 on these windy days. You add in the cameras, it's tough to be aggressive.
Yeah. I don't want to say everybody just got big putted, but...
Everybody just got big thrown in. It did. But again, same thing for Scardigno. Low, in his case, low right. Same common am miss, the low right there. You've got to come out really aggressive early in these types of rounds. I think it's only one round, and you want to make that cut for that back nine lead card. So we got Amico starting off well. Neg 2 going into the 5th hole. I think we don't, well, it's clear we don't have a hole preview for this hole. Par 3, 228. I believe it's a simple right to left hyzer putter shot. Amico sneaks one kind of in that back door.
Looks like Travis just keeps the train rolling.
Yeah, he'll have a look. And that was a beautiful shape to that shot, just a little bit outside right. Scardigno appears to be going with that lefty turnover backhand. He's got his moonshine deputy on the tee. Shout out Daddy Mac Dies, I believe, is who did that dye job.
Beautiful shape on that.
And without the hole preview, I thought that line was inside, but it looks like that was actually perfect. He's got a nice 20-footer. Let's see if Kevin can kind of get things going here.
Gives him a look, but he'll probably be pitching that up for an easy par.
Yeah, a little low, a little inside. This hole does have a really nice backstop to it, I'm noticing, so you can kind of be really aggressive if you're out here on your run. I like that little step out, that little finesse step out to the left he did there. Par for the course for Kevin, just laying up, taking his 3. Amico looking to keep the birdie train rolling with a nice turkey here on 5.
Let's make it 3 for 3.
Valiant little Anheuser effort, but that's another instance where I feel like I'd love to see a little more aggression with that tree right behind the basket.
It seems to be tough out there with the wind as well, though.
Very true.
You know, with the cameras on, you kind of want to keep your comebacker as close as possible.
And he does kind of have a bit of a lofty putt.
Yeah. Looks like the card will be carding a bunch of pars here on hole 5.
Spring disc golf, man. We got one guy in a polo, one guy in a long sleeve, one guy in a hoodie, another guy in a cutoff Under Armour combo. It's starting to warm up. You love to see it. Scardigno taking the stroke on the field, or on the card rather, stepping into hole 6 here. Par 3, 282 feet, left to right shot. Some more beautiful decor on the course. Shout out to the designers. And this one sits on a little bit of a mound with a very heavily crowded green, so it's hard to access to get a close look. Relatively easy to get one from 40-50 here. There's not too much in your way, but just very hard to get a safe, comfortable look for the two.
Looking forward to this shot right here from Mike. Should be bread and butter.
That one goes flying right by Rotor. I think that almost hit him.
It looks like it had the correct shape, just a little too much juice.
I can't imagine how hard it is filming catch for the first time. And I don't even think he can see the tee here, so he's really just on a wing and a prayer.
Right.
Amico going thumber.
Wow.
See, I don't know how that's going to get up that hill there at the end, though. I don't see how you can get closer than 40 there.
Yeah, that's a curious shot, but it looks like the righty backhand turnover is very, very tight.
Yeah, and a lot more extra danger with that shot, probably.
Looks
Alston using that airspace well.
Right. I don't mind the forehand shot here. Keep your eyes on the gap. Make sure you hit it. You know, try to give yourself a putt.
Kevin looks to take a similar line.
Oh, and that is just a really bad break. Hate to see it with the backspin there.
Yeah, and if we look at where that tree is, he looked like he was about to be 35-40.
Yeah.
Honestly, for Kevin, I don't think he's running that anyway. So he'll take his par, move forward.
Really well done on the pitch.
He's the kind of guy where if he can stay in range, he's not who you want on your back coming down the stretch.
Absolutely. And it's better to just hover around even because you can still, you know, catch fire in the back. Never know what can happen.
Definitely. This course does have some very tricky, crowded greens, but it is very attackable, very scoreable. Scardigno makes a correction from his last few, gets that one a bit higher, but it is a bit wide left. Nice little Anheuser around the tree there. I think that was in his way.
Well done.
Alston's looking clean so far. The whole card is, really. I mean, Kevin hasn't had many chances for a birdie yet. He still has been clean. Scardigno just started to heat up on the last hole. Nothing amazing, but we're seeing some good golf.
Yeah.
Hole 7, par 3, 219 feet. Very, very tight tunnel shot off the tee. I just love watching Rotor fly this thing. His first time doing the drone, his first time doing catch. And if you can get through the gap with a little bit of turn on the righty backhand, you're gonna find yourself in a great spot. This is one of the few greens that doesn't have trees in the front of the basket. So this is one where you really want to attack. There's also a nice backstop behind the basket as well. Pop something up, let it ride straight.
Austin a little low with that one, but slides up to about 45 feet, I want to say.
Scardigno going deputy again. Nails third available, which is a term I just made up.
Travis with the beard. Beard still looks great.
Seemed to be looking at his hand there. Not sure if he had a little sweat. You know, maybe he doesn't have the chalk bag in the in the bag this year yet. Kevin gets sneaky on the left side.
I was kind of hoping our card would do a little better on this one, but Austin has a look for the birdie, so.
He does. Amico using that sky space. She falls to about 55. Not where you want to be, but he's hit deep ones in this round. We'll see what he can do.
Yep.
Scardigno going with this tomahawk.
Finds the airspace.
That is a very fun shot to film, I gotta say. It's just hard because, like, sometimes when they're going tomahawk, they go sky high, but then you see Amico do these driven ones.
Yeah.
That kind of have that weird flare at the end to them.
Right, they catch edge on the top half of the flight plate and just take off.
And that's the craziest part about them, is what they can do at the end of the flight with those tomahawks. It's really impressive.
Walks it in. Austin Barron with the wonderful 2 on hole 7 here.
Austin Barron.
Go, kid.
Look at this guy. He's cheesing. The local, just showing everybody how it's done. He didn't even get great ground play, but he says, I don't care.
Look at that hand, just keeping it out there.
Yes.
Puts it down when he hits chains. Love that.
Let's go, AB.
Little wave to the crowd.
That's most certainly going to be a stroke on the card.
Yeah.
We haven't seen where Kevin is. Oh, Kevin actually ended up in a nice, decent spot here. Got sneaky on that left side off the tee. Let's see if he can capitalize. Yes, sir.
Very nice. Way to go,
sir.
Kevin. As we were saying that he's not
Just
the
dropping
most.
it in.
As we were
Just
saying, he's
drops
not
them
the
in.
most aggressive player. Here he goes, dropping it a 40-footer for the
Just
2.
drops it in. It's in the basket. That's all that counts.
Nice and flat. Right side corner pocket.
And you can tell from the spin that he has on his putts that he does have conviction when he's going for the basket. It's not the fastest putt, it's not the highest putt, but that spin that he gets on it really shows he's getting a nice, clean, low pop out of the hand. Bit of separation here on hole 7. We're stepping into hole 8, par 5, 675 feet. This hole is an absolute beauty, and we kind of butchered it a little bit off of the tee here. It's very challenging to fly through, but you can see just how crowded it is. Pick your poison, left side or the inside gap.
This is I don't want to like rag on Rotor because this fairway is incredibly tight. I mean, if you can barely get a drone through here, it's gonna be tough to get a disc all the way there in 4 shots, ideally.
He's only flown a couple times. Honestly, it's not
shirt.
easy.
It's a great shirt.
Kev, do you mind giving us a word on the thought process this morning on the fit?
Well, you know, the colors have to match. They not match. They have to go together. So
Big difference.
Yeah, I had some red pants out. Well, match would be, you know, same exact color. If I was wearing white pants, white shirt.
Some people don't
So
get
I had
it
red
then.
pants out, tried them on, didn't like the fit. Went to the greens, thought it looked pretty good. Debated the Under Armour. Temperatures are going to be a little warm today, but I think it's paying off so far. A lot of wind.
Rotor, looks like you didn't have any process to your outfit. It looks horrible.
I found my most worn shirts, my most worn joggers, and my most worn trail runners, and I threw them on and I got the heck out the door.
He's got the visor though.
Rotor's got 7 different pairs of trail runners.
Yeah,
from
big
like 8
shout out
different
to
brands.
Brian Rotor. Big shout out
He's
to
got
the
like
whole,
3 New Balance.
to the whole VFSM film crew. We got Leslie McGovern on the tee there.
Those shoes look immaculate.
Yes, he does have many pairs of trail runners. I wanted to get a photo of it and put it in the video, but maybe later in the season.
Yeah.
It is a long season. We got a lot of events. Subscribe to the channel, like the video if you're enjoying. Austin Barron, just yet again, taking the high percentage line. It seems like left side is the way to go. Well, I should say right side, but then fade it out to the left.
Oh, Kevin trying to bite off a little bit more of the fairway here with a beautiful hyzer flip. All of these players are demonstrating really, really impressive angle control with these hyzer flip angles through the woods. It's really awesome to see.
I'm only realizing now we have 3 of the most hyzer flippiest players in New Jersey between Scardigno, Kevin, and Amico. And then you've just got Austin, who's just like flexing those ridiculously strong, like light anhyzer to hyzer lines.
I love to see it. That's one of my favorite, if not my favorite type of golf to watch. That slow flipping. Oh, looks like Travis is going to end up a little left.
See, I think, yeah, it's not too thick on that left side, so it seems like the play is to try to ride that right hallway as long as you can, but don't worry about it finishing flat. You can let it drift out left. Give yourself some extra angle. You see how cut off Scardigno is here now with his beautifully themed blue and teal bag from Upper Park.
Almost squeaks through there. That was about to be really nice.
Yeah, rough cake, but I'm happy he's on that left side. I do think it's a little more clear over there. Amico going with his signature Captain America. He loves to put this thing on a thumber. And that's just insane. Uphill to get that much play off the ground.
I have to ask him if he's anticipating that type of ground play when he plays the thumbers, because I have to think he is, you know?
Well, I mean, he just played it perfectly around the bend. Rotor wasn't even in position to get it. It went so far.
Yeah.
Kevin also repping VFDGA. Kevin's one of the core guys here in the Valley Forge Disc Golf Association. We love the O'Brien brothers. Shout out to Kyle. They've been big supporters of the coverage since the Whippany Wiffle Ball League days, if I recall. Kyle was commenting and liking on all the videos. What a guy. Scardigno Tomahawk is trying to scramble out.
It looks like you can get a pretty nice eagle look with 2 really solid shots. I think Kevin has a long outside look at the eagle.
Yeah, it's a fair hole. I mean, even Scardigno still has a perfectly fine chance to par.
Yeah. But it looks tight.
I've been stuck on that right side before, and his first out, Scardigno's, was actually pretty solid. It's dangerous and it's tempting because the hole goes left to right. It's so tempting to cut through the back, but I think this is one of those holes where you probably want to disc down. The more you play this hole, the lower your disc speed is probably going to be over time. Stick to some mid-ranges, try to keep everything nice and straight.
Looks like Travis played some plinko into the green there. Possibly an edge of circle look.
Kevin was a little bit cornered off there, tried to use some height to stall the disc out and get a little extra fade. Unfortunately, I think the wind just kind of bullied him around a little bit.
Very common to kind of pull the forehand in that open stance.
Yes. Now this is Scardigno's 4, so he ends up with
Tap
nice
and
bullseye
par.
Yeah, good scramble.
Very well played.
Solid woods player, Scardigno.
Wow, this is a very garden green.
Austin. I love that run. I didn't know he had that kind of high floater.
Yeah. Just shy from Travis. We really would have wanted to see that drop.
Yeah, he's shooting well. It looked like he was kind of out of steam on the long ones there after that last bogey on the last hole, but he's trudging through.
Nice, good stick.
And he gets the par.
Looks like our players will be tapping in a bunch of pars here.
Scardigno's putting with bullfrogs, I learned recently. You know,
Oh my
you know
goodness.
the bullfrog?
Yes. Are you serious?
I am. I heard he recently switched to the pure, but at the winter Whackaround he was going bullfrog. Kevin, beautifully clean scorecard from Kevin. Taking a look at the leaderboard here as we head into hole 9. We've got Scott DeMarco and Austin Barron leading the charge at neg 3. And we've got Matt Coltrera at neg 1 after 9 sitting in the clubhouse. Hole 9, par 4, 474 feet. Left to right, elevation going up in the beginning, and it finishes slightly downhill. You've got an elevated basket on this hole, a ridiculously crowded green. I don't know where the fairway is. Rotor doesn't know where the fairway is. I'd love for Lou Garcia to chime in, let us know if he's going inside or outside here. I'm thinking that you just kind of go low speed, try to stay towards that inside line. You do have a little bit of room off the tee to try to let one go. I like the sidearm here. Try and stay on that right side.
Looks like the green has a little bit of a drop off behind it as well. Kind of warning players, beware.
That's such a tough break for Austin Barron there. I would have called that a beautifully placed shot. He kind of hit the one tree on that part of the fairway and rolled off to the side. We'll see how much that restricts his view. Kevin, he's got a lot of height on his throws, so you will often see him far off to the side when he does miss, but his scramble game's on point. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah. Mike, doing what I've been wanting to see. That is such a beautiful little hyzer stand-up shot.
Filleted.
And that righty backhand turnover is very tricky on a left to right moving fairway like this, because that leftward kick can shoot you off into Narnia. And
so Amico doesn't really have a strong sidearm. He seems to not want to go turnover backhand. I think that was not a terrible idea, because it does seem like you want to go with a left to right shot off of this tee. Something that's going to keep you on that inside. I mean, we can kind of see a look at that left side fairway from here. It doesn't even really exist. But Kevin's going for it anyway.
Wow. Almost flipped it up through there. Didn't quite get the snap on it.
This really is such a beautifully technical course. These Central Jersey, South Jersey guys seem to love that. I mean, you wonder, is it just because what the land calls for? Is it because that's what they wanted to create? Either way, this is a beautiful course. Really nice usage of the land.
Yeah.
Lots of creativity.
It really develops a new breed of disc golfer as well. You know, one that can put a disc on any type of line inside 250 feet.
Yes, and you know what I really like about this course? There are a few holes where you can open up in the beginning. You know, there's not really danger. Like you saw, I believe it was hole 3, that downhill.
Wow, beautiful little tomahawk from Mike there. But ooh, it gets a little bit away from him.
That's the danger of that tomahawk,
Yeah.
I guess. Kind of skipped just over that little barrier they had as well. Kevin does look to be in a decent position to save his par here. Neg 1 seems to be a good enough score to move on to lead card back 9. Tiebreak will be decided by VFDGA number. We just mentioned Kevin's an OG, so he'll likely be moving on. But yeah, these holes often have very open tees, so I like that because it does give you the opportunity to really let one rip. We got Scott DeMarco doing weird animated things.
Just showing his typical forehand form there.
Yes. He does kind of get that low.
Very nice chip from Austin there.
I really like the style of his game. You know, he's not a higher rated player than any of the other guys here on this card by too much, but just very technical, very compact form. I'm excited to see kind of where his disc golf career goes.
Yeah, I'm noticing he's got a very well-rounded game. Just kind of
Very
does
Paul McBethy, I would say.
Yeah, just does everything very well. You know.
Tough break for Kevin, grabbing a lot of chain on that pro right side. Surprised to see that one fall out for him. Sometimes that little elevation on the basket can get you. And just talking about how nice the course is, I love when courses do a moderately elevated basket. It's so often when someone decides to go elevated that they just throw this 10-foot basket up in the air. So
just
I
this
like
towering
this controlled usage of different elements.
Absolutely.
They didn't get too excited with it. But speaking of excited, Dan, front 9, winter Whackaround in the books, the first VFDGA major of the year. A little bit of a balance going on out there. We've got Scott DeMarco, Austin Barron, Travis Amico, and Matt Coltrera moving on to the back 9 lead card. What are your thoughts so far?
Play has been very, very good, honestly. It looks pretty windy out there, and especially in the woods. For AM players, wind and in the woods can spell disaster. So everybody's been avoiding big numbers. Actually even got some highlights with that big putt from Austin, that throw in from Travis. And I'm looking for more of the same on the back nine, hopefully a little more.
Yeah, back nine, you know, I don't know the course too well, but I believe it's a lot more of the same. Technical holes, little bits of elevation. I think that the last few holes kind of come down this hill a little bit, so really attackable positions there. We'll see you on the back nine.